Hey, I hope this video helps. It's a little bit rushed, so just kind of bear with me. First, I'm going to tell you what you need. The extra fondant I had is weird colors for a bear, but you can use whatever colors you want. So for the main part of the bear, I'm using red. You can use a dark brown. You can do the light blue like in my picture. You also need a different color. I used blue because this is what I have. If you were doing a brown bear, I would suggest using like light ivory tinted brown or like a beige color. You need toothpicks to help with support. I use my ballpoint tool, which you'll see later on why. Have a knife ready. And then this is my Wilton cutter. I like to use this. This is got like the little points on it. You also need black food coloring. Oh, and vegetable shortening. It's the best thing to have when you're doing fondant. So I like to start off with making the head. Just take off kind of eyeball it, take off a chunk, depending on how big you want your bear to be. Use a little bit of shortening. Definitely helps making the ball smoother. You can just fast forward this part because you don't need to watch me. Then just kind of play with it, see what size head you want. I think this is good. Mine has a little bit of lines. It's not perfect, but this is more just to kind of show you how. The longer you roll it and the smoother it'll be. So mine's not a perfect circle. I don't really care for a perfect round head. Okay. And what I like to do is to kind of give it that stitch look is I use this and I start on one side of the head down the center and I go up and over all the way down the front. There we go. So you kind of have that stitch look going down. And then just play with the shape a little bit. You can even round it a little bit more if you're not happy with it. And then make sure on the bottom you just press it flat, because when it sits on the body, you want it to be a little bit level, and if it's not perfectly flat, it's going to go like that, you know. So the next part you want to make is the body. You kind of just got to play with it. Sometimes like I have to take off a piece and then it's not enough, and then you have to add. It's kind of just trial and error until it looks the way you want it to look. And this part, I like to make the top a little bit thinner. And the bottom, you want it to be a little bit more rounder. And then I like to press the top just to make it flat like the bottom of the head so it kind of aligns better. And then just put it next to it, you know, see if you like it, if it's big enough. It might look a little weird because you don't have the ears or anything on yet. So I think that's pretty good. So next I like to take this again, just go down the middle, over the head, down the middle. And then I put a toothpick on both sides. I try to press it all the way down. Now sometimes, depending on what size you have, you might have to cut the toothpick down a little bit so it doesn't poke out the top of the head. I might have to do that for this one. Nope, I'm good. All right. So now we have that made. Now normally I like to put the head under a light and the body before I connect them, so that way they're nice and firm. So when you sit the head on here, it doesn't weigh down the body at all and make it want to change its shape. So the next part I like to do is the leg. And then what I like to do is kind of press the bottom. You want it flat, but I press the top as well, so you kind of get like a little dip. And then on this end, I like to make it a little bit thinner. And then I just press it on, and then, you know, see if you like it, if it's a good size. I'm okay with this size. Oops. And then normally, oh, my bear's not staying up because it's not firm yet, so I just put this leg here, just play with it, get it to the shape you want. And then I usually just eyeball to make the leg the same. You can re-roll this into a ball and match the ball sizes. Makes it a little bit easier. I just kind of am going to go by ear because I don't want to make you watch this all day long. Same thing, I pressed. Sorry. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to take off a little bit. There we go. Next we're going to do the arms. Then you just want to play with it, kind of try to get the shape you want. I kind of leave these a little bit more pointy, the arms, at the one end, and then the other side again I make it a little bit flatter to put it. But I like to measure it to where it can sit on the leg. So that way it kind of gives the arm a little bit more support. Again, just make the other arm. The one side a little bit rounder. Like I said, I'm kind of brushing this so it's not perfect, just so you kind of get the basic idea of how I do it. And then when the bodies and the head would be dry, this is when I would start assembling it. I would make the arms and legs then, and then I would attach them with water. If your arms for some reason aren't staying, you can cut little tips off of a toothpick and stick it in the side and then press it in. But I found since it rests on the leg, you don't really have that problem. So the next part we're going to make are the ears. So I make one ball about that big. And then I kind of just play with it to make it flat round if you understand what I'm saying. I'll show you in a second. So it's not paper flat, but it's not a sphere. Okay, then I use my knife and I cut it in half. You know, fix it a little bit. And then I use my ball tool and I just make a little bit of an indent while pressing on the sides of the ear. If you can see. And then here you can either put a little bit of a toothpick and put it on. You can put the ears on when you make the head. You don't have to wait till the head hardens to put the ears. And then you can just attach them with water or whatever your normal preference for gluing together. And with the same thing with the other one, just kind of press it in a little bit. Don't mind, I keep having to fix the body because it's still soft. The head's making it want to go backwards. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. And then play with the ears. It's kind of hard to tell from looking behind it if it's centered, but. So the next part I'm going to make is the mouth part. So again, I just kind of like to start with a ball. And then you kind of want to make it like an oval shape, kind of like how you did the ear. Originally you make it flat but not too thin. But I like to oval it out instead of making it a circle. And it's just, honestly, it's just playing with it. You might have to re-roll it out and do it again. It's kind of your preference. And then once you have the size you want, I like to try to make the ends like a little bit pressed down, but I would also use water to glue it on. And then for the nose, I would use red, or if you're doing brown, you would use the dark brown. Just a little piece. It's not too big. It's kind of like a round, I guess, triangle head shape you're going for. You could tell in the picture I made. And you just want to put it on. Again, it's just kind of looking at it and figuring it out. It's a little bit harder looking at it through the camera. And then normally on this part of the nose, I would add a white dot. I can't explain why, it just kind of makes it look better. A little weird. But we'll use blue. Whoop, there goes the ear. Normally the ear would be on, so don't freak out. This is just because I'm doing it and it's not set yet. And then for the eyes, take black food coloring and just put it on a toothpick. Gel is fine, it doesn't have to be a specific kind. And just on both sides of you can make them as big or as small as you want. Mine look a little crooked because I'm doing this upside down. Normally I would do it facing me. And then On the arms and legs, you can do a little bit more of the stitch just to kind of give it that teddy bear look, like it was sewn together. You can actually do that on the leg before you attach it. Again, mine are moving because I'm not using water or anything. I'm just trying to give you the base idea. And then the next part I like to do is the patches. Just take a piece and just make it kind of as flat as you can. You don't have to roll it, just with your finger. And then I like to cut out just a square shape. Okay, just pick it up with your knife. Now you can put it anywhere really. Put it above your one eye, and then I like to take my knife and just kind of make 2 lines on each side. It kind of gives it that effect that it's been, you know, patched back on. Okay. Again, make another square. This one will go on the belly. You can also put one on the back, so if they're going to see the back of the bear, then it looks like that as well. Just put one. You could put the patch on as well. When I wouldn't do the head till last, just depending on your eyes and how big you make this. But you can do the one on the body. Again, just do the lines on each side. There. And then the last part you have to add, or I like to, you don't have to. Just try to make 2 little balls the same size. And then just press them down into like a circle. And then you're just going to add them onto the feet. And then on here, I would do just 3 sets of 2. Again, just to give it that patch look. Don't mind that my arms are moving at this point. You'd already have them dried on. And again, it's very important that you let the body dry and the head dry beforehand. Otherwise you're going to have this problem and it's going to drive you crazy. But normally it would just sit up like that. It probably looks a little weird because of the colors. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could either paint on a mouth or you can just do a little patch. Just to give it that effect. There you have it. So feel free to message me or ask me any questions. I hope this was helpful. I know it's a little messy, but that's because I'm kind of rushing this. Alright, I guess I'll talk to you soon.